We're going to talk a little bit about the middleman and kind of how these technologies, all related to cloud here, and what that middleman application looks like. So here we have a cloud environment. We're really talking here, we have some primary components as we've talked about on other videos. We have management, we have orchestration, right? So all of these are important for us to understand. And then we have the functionality, some of the functionality, and I'm not talking about customer functionality here. I'm talking about functionality of the core. So let's go there first. So things that we've already talked about in other videos related to OpenStack. We've got, network, for example, which is maybe your neutron. We've talked about kind of these images, right? Image management. So maybe we're talking about so images or ISOs, maybe glance, for example. And we may also talk a little bit about storage, right? How we're going to access storage, and so that's a kind of a core functionality. And we're going to use something like maybe Swift or Cinder or something of that nature. But I guess the key takeaway here is this is providing functionality of the core itself that supports the cloud. Okay? So this is all supporting the cloud. Now we could use other components as well, right? We may have security using Keystone, for example, and this may pipe into a bigger security model that we have sitting in our environment, or what have you, right? There's lots of options here. So, but the key here that we're talking about right now is this core functionality here at the base of the cloud environment. So this is our core functionality. And in order for us to really achieve cost savings, we need to try to get to this core environment with a reduced cost. So we need to have, whoops daisy, we need to have a cost structure that is focused on reducing costs. And that's where you're going to get things that are within OpenStack, quite frankly. A lot of these technologies are reducing our cost to operate. But the challenge is, how do we get our virtual machines within this environment? Remember, a cloud environment really is made up of physical servers, right? Physical servers that have virtual machines within them. So we want to make sure that whatever these VMs are within the environment, we'll just put a smiley face because it looks nice. We want to make sure that we can manage these and get them down. And this is often called or referred to as your hypervisor, right? I just froze there for a minute. Sorry about that. Hypervisor. And some of these hypervisors you're going to have are different types of hypervisors. Now, when it comes to management, everybody has a different manager. So let's take a look at some of these hypervisors. First of all, you've got things, probably the biggest market share is VMware. You've got Microsoft's Hyper-V, right? And then you've got Red Hat's KVM. Within your management environment, you have things, for example, for VMware, you're going to see vCloud. Hyper-V, I don't know what they call their management environment off the top of my head. I apologize. But you'll have some sort of Microsoft flavor of the back office. And then you have RevM for Red Hat. And so these are kind of your management tools. When Nova comes into play, now Nova is not an orchestrator. Orchestrators, there are multiple orchestrators. So Nova really is more of a manager of the environment and does orchestration functionality as well. So it's kind of that hybrid approach. But Nova primarily is your manager of the environment. And what am I talking about managing? In order to be a manager of the environment, just like vCloud and just like RevM, we're managing the KVM, or VMware. we're managing the virtual machines. We're managing the hypervisor itself. And so what you want to be able to do is have both Nova be your manager, okay, to manage directly to that hypervisor, as well as RevM to manage the hypervisor, for example. So both of these are managing the same hypervisor nodes, and there's multiple nodes, right, where you have hypervisors. We want them to manage natively. Now some of our products, and we'll just pick on VMware right now, VMware has a manager called vCloud. But in order to use Nova in the environment, remember this is OpenStack. So in order to use Nova in a VMware environment, this is what you have to do. So you have to have Nova sitting on top, which makes it OpenStack, and I'll use that makes it OpenStack very loosely. And then in order to get to the hypervisors, right, where the virtual machines are on the physical machine, right, on the physical machine, we have to put in a layer. In this case, it happens to be vCloud. So this basically says, yes, my customers are coming into OpenStack. They go down to vCloud, and then they go to the hypervisor, and then they go to the applications. Well, we don't want that. That's just craziness. This right here, all this means for you is, whoops-a-daisy, is extra cost. That's all that means to you. You want an environment that's represented here. So you want to be able to take whatever your management is now. We'll use Red Hat because it does this natively today. RevM for your management, right? Remember, we're talking about management here. We want to inject Nova, OpenStack, as a manager, right? And we're managing what? These hypervisors. We want to do that directly. And we want to be able to have them work together. So I want to have my RevM environment and my Nova environment running at the same time, both accessing the same set of hypervisors. And then again, of course, these hypervisors then just simply point down to the functionality within the cloud environment.